das ist mutig.
Team Japan です。
Buongiorno. Your clock is almost here. Yeah, we took from the rent because they soon. Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah,
for
we
you.
did it.
Just for you.
It's done. Because they don't want to see me in the Croatian raincoat. You have to create. Oh.
Den Fall, wenn noch irgendwas hochnehmen müssten. Ich setze gerade im Lift und komme oben
Okay,
das Dach
here we are.
vor.
We're in Feldberg once again. A bit foggy today. Or light cloud up above, so no clear sunshine at the moment. Forecast is for the weather to clear up, and hopefully that'll happen. We'll get some sunshine for competitors and spectators alike. Just the tail end of the course inspection happening here, and the girls lining up. The first racers, of course, will be the women's visually impaired category as usual, and they'll be followed by the sit skiers, who will be preceded by the standing skiers. Yesterday's winner, Anna Maria Rieder, looking very cool, calm and collected there with friends and family around her.
trekken. Maar kijk maar even, ja. Taper nu in ieder geval voor de zekerheid vast. Hier wil vrij en als het niet lukt, dan zie je het wel. Halen we de taper eraf, maar dan is het nat daar. Ja, en Tijn zat er nog op geloof ik.
Dat is wel dan ook. Dat is geloof van.
Dat zijn net breed.
Also diese Stange noch. Ja, das da. Die bitte ab. Nein, oh ja. Hier, irgendwas war ja. Ja, es war mir jetzt die Stange nachgekriegt habe. Oh, nur die Horten kämen in den Garten.
That's right.
A cómo se canta el que tiene, el mundo nos quiere, me quieren, que toda mi gente.
La gestión de arriba está ganando. Que sí, lo vamos a puto partir, joder, lo vamos a puto partir. Bien, vale, ya está. Vamos, hostia, ya está. Está haciendo de mierda, sí, que le voy a partir la cara a esta tía de mierda también. Claro. Ya está. Bien.
Y ahí nos vamos, el mundo es grande pero lo tengo en mis manos, estoy muy duro, sí, ok, ahí vamos, y con el tiempo nos seguimos celebrando, y seguimos rompiendo aquí, esta fiesta no tiene fin, botella para arriba, sí, los tengo bailando, rompiendo y yo sigo así, y seguimos rompiendo aquí, esta fiesta no tiene fin, botella para arriba, sí, los tengo bailando, rompiendo, y ¿dónde está mi gente? Que todo el mundo la acepta. ¿Y dónde está mi gente?
So, schönen guten Morgen hier, zweiter Tag am Feldberg. genauso viel spielerische Sorte wie gestern hier auf dem Feldberg. Ja, also drumherum alles tipptopp. Wetter habe ich leider schlechtes mitgebracht, das tut mir leid. Aber ich würde jetzt mal sagen, ein sehr weltcup-würdiger Hang. Also so eher auf der schwereren Seite, aber das wollen wir ja, glaube ich, auch alle.
Good morning and welcome back to Feldberg here in Schwarzwald in the Black Forest in the southern edge of Germany, not so far from the Swiss and Austrian borders. We're on the Ehornbühel once again for a second day of slalom competition. If you joined us yesterday, you'll know that the world's top para-alpine skiers are on stellar form, and we're set for another real battle once again today. A little bit warmer, and some mist and fog have come in along with these warm temperatures, but don't really think it's going to affect the racing conditions too much. Hopefully the fog just stays where it is, sucked in on the very top of the hill. So a race jury there shouldn't have too many difficult decisions, shouldn't be any weather calls today, but right now it looks like everything is set to go. Racer number one in the gate, looking to capitalize on her success in yesterday's competition. Very solid podium place there for Veronika Eigner, and everybody looks ready to go. Live action scheduled to commence on the hour, so just 2 or 3 minutes from now.
Aber tatsächlich, ja, bin mal gespannt, weil es jetzt auch wieder ein bisschen anders gesteckt ist wie gestern natürlich. Also 2 Minuten haben wir noch und dann geht's hier los am Feldberg mit dem zweiten Tag beim Para Alpine Ski World Cup.
Well, as we've just noted, it's got a little bit warmer, kind of damp as well. Slight drizzle in the air, so some of the coaches paying close attention to the athletes' goggles, making sure there's, try to minimize the risk of those fogging up. Bit of a fan club showing for local skier Anna Maria Rieder. Saw her ski to victory yesterday. Yeah, it's raincoats and umbrellas at the ready here, just while we go through the last couple of minutes of the pre-race preparations. So you're here on FIS TV. Thanks for joining me, John Clark. So we look at the start list. It's Veronika Eigner, who we saw a moment ago, lining up in the start with her sister Elizabeth guiding her, looking to, as I say, to capitalise on a very successful day yesterday. Eigner taking the victory from her teammate, younger teammate Elena Stari, who led very strongly after the first run, but Eigner did a real second run charge. There's the brollies we were talking about. German team colours on display. And Vozza, a strong performance from Martina Vozza for the Italian team in third place yesterday. She and her guide Elena Sabadusi did a really good job, and 2 solid third runs. It was a real battle for the first place, and I think we'll see the same thing again today, though, between Eigner and Stari. She is getting ready now. They've been given a 10-second warning. And off they go. Veronica and sister Elizabeth Aigner get things underway and give us a first chance to have a proper look at this course. Softer conditions have made the snow turn out quite bumpy, and problems there about 12 gates in for the Aigners. Quick recovery though, and they were very close together when they lost the line, so not too much time lost, I think, but does leave the door open for the other competitors somewhat. Very soft snow. It's going to cut up badly. It's softened even during course inspection compared with it having set up last night. 35.23 total time. Shake of the head. Some small apologies what happened there, but no time to get a quick replay. They're sending them fast and furious. Got to keep this competition rolling as smoothly as possible. Ethan Jackson now guiding Georgia Gunyu. Only Australians in the competition. Steadier approach than the Aigners, keeps them well in contact. Georgia a little bit on the tails of the skis though, coming off the steep, so not getting a punch out of the turn, and trails by 4.42 at the split. Good guiding there by Jonathan, modifying his speed across the snow at the end of the flats to make sure he has a really good connection for Georgia. Gives her those audible cues, talking to her through the Bluetooth headset. Here comes the finish line, just has to run it straight now. 10.65 back. Gunyu goes into second for now. Steady run from the Australian pairing. Keep them.
Der Hennenstall auf Staringen ist auch wieder da. Unten, jawohl, die trotzen jeden Wetter.
Lisa Schwartz guiding Babsi Aigner now. Much steadier skiing on the steep section compared with their sister a moment ago. The youngest of the three Aigner sisters on the hill today. Really steady skiing here from Barbara Aigner. Nice and consistent. Heading now towards the line, straight lines at 4.97, a second position, so not that far behind her sister. And yeah, they look pleased with their run. Sandra Rekshova guided by Sofia Polak now for the Slovakian team on course. Straight away getting caught on the tails though. These left foot turns, the hill falls all the way to the left, pretty much all the way down. So sort of bias on the left foot. You need to be strong on the left, stronger on the left foot than on the right for the majority of these turns. That blue one would been a good example of it. The blue one just before the split time. Another long sweeping left foot turn around the banana gate. And again, left foot exit from the hairpin into the next rhythmical corridor section of the course. Good work here by this pair. 2.94, that's very much in touch with Veronica Aigner. And here comes Elena Stari next for the Austrian team. Big strong push. Josefa Arnold really getting the pace fired up straight away into these early gates, attacking full on, trying to, as I say, capitalize on her success from yesterday. Little mistake just before the hairpin, same problem as Veronica Aigner had, and again coming off of that pitch, or further down that pitch anyway, started getting caught on the inside ski, the outside ski breaking away as a result. These are tidier turns though, definitely in touch here, and there's only 0.32 to find from that split time Starry now heading for the line. 2 turns to go. Safely round those, and 0.72 packing in very, very tight for these podium places. Second place for Elena Stari and Josefa Arnold, her guide. Quick look back, just on those early gates, she had a couple of problems. Excellent work by Josefa, getting very, very close to the gates, so bringing her skier as close as she dares to the gates, but without actually touching them herself, so it doesn't disturb the balance of the poles in the snow. Now, Martina Votza, third place, with her guide, Elena Sabadusi, third place yesterday. Their tactic be keep it steady and go for more of the same, or try to take a risk or two. It looks a steadier run, I would say. Very solid skiing. I won't say she's being cautious, but giving the hill a bit of respect. That's a gap that she can work on. Oh, mistake there, though. And it looks like she straddled the gate before the one she came out on. That's disappointing because, as we were saying, they definitely were in touch with the leaders. Less than a second in it at this point. Yeah, I just got tangled up on the second and third pole in the verticale. Looks like it was a straddle by Votza, and her work for today, unfortunately, is over. So no repeat of yesterday's podium for the Italian. We aren't done yet, though. Got Chiara Matzel with her guide, Fabrizio Casal. Fabrizio just checks that she's ready. Off they go. Get a good long shot view of this course here, or well, we did, but the rhythm set early on and keeping it steady through this middle part. Good work by the pair of them. So 6-8 out. Don't have to take, don't have to make too many heroic moves here to be in touch. Keeping it steady, and an excellent rhythm, excellent synchronous skiing between the two of them makes for a steady job for the athlete behind the guide. And well, I tell you, Italy are still in touch. And despite Votza being out of this, her younger compatriot Chiara Matzel does a good job of keeping Italian hopes alive. So Livia Golas now for Poland. Safely down that upper section, which is pretty turny. Not quite as turny as certainly as yesterday's second course, but just here where this verticale is, moving the skiers across to the right. Big rhythm change there, which we've seen catch a few folk out already. Over the next crest, though, through this hairpin safely. Delena Klusak, the guide here, just keeping it steady on this lower part as they make for the line, straight lines out, and going into 8th there, tucking in behind Australia's Georgia Gunyu.
Elena Stari und Chiara Matzel, die sind alle im Bereich von 3 Sekunden zusammen.
And next up, they go. This is Sarah Choi, the final competitor in the women's visually impaired category. Doesn't want to fall foul of the rules as she did yesterday. Had a DQ against her name, missed a gate unfortunately for her. So I would say just taking a slightly more measured approach today in this first run. Get the confidence back. It's a good way to approach the day. It's 3 days of competition here, of course. So another chance to build on things tomorrow. Straight for the line she goes. Is that a joy? Safely across the line. That's the last of the 9 visually impaired women in this early category. Next up will be the standing men, and here's the confirmation of the results of the first run. Veronika Eigner ahead of Elena Stari. They're having their own personal Austrian battle, and then Italy in the shape of Chiara Matzel today, sitting in third for now. Provisional third place. Remember, we have a second run, which we'll be bringing you in just a little under 3 hours. And those 2 runs, times added together, lowest aggregate time, of course, makes the winner. So 5 girls now in the standing category.
Ut med laggen. Var med hela vägen, kämpa.
Yesterday's victor, Eva Arjo. Really cleaned it up yesterday. Nice words from her dad and her coach there. Expect an aggressive run here. Very determined competitor. Fully focused on the job ahead here. Putting the power down on both skis. Running parallel around the gates. This is a flyer of a run. She's found a very, very direct line off the steep section. Across the flat like lightning. And now into the final series of turns. It's quite a short course again, just under 40 seconds long. We'll expect 34 seconds, 0.72 seconds. Well, that really was a flyer. Excellent technically flawless, and really just had the measure of risk-taking and solid skiing correct. Soft snow today, plenty of grip, and not quite as rough as it turned out yesterday. So there is a chance for anybody who really wants to take a risk and let the skis fly. On Claire Petit's case, let the ski fly. First of our LW2 skiers. 4th place yesterday for Claire. Skiing for the Netherlands and making nice, tidy work of this top section. I'd say she's quite as quick as Arjo was, but here's the split we'll see. Factor time shows her trailing by 3.33 seconds. Keeps the work rate up. And heads now straight for the line, really quick across the finish line. Second spot for now, 6.09. I think she'd want to have been a little bit closer, but definitely still in contention. You know, we had yesterday's podium split across the podium, 7.74 seconds. So she's still very much in the chase. Now, Anna Maria Rieder on course. Her own fan club here. Delighted to be skiing on home snow, and so far the local crew have been really supportive of each and every athlete, but I have to say the local crew here, the Hill crew, have done a great job in putting this race on. You can see in the background there's very little or no real natural snow cover to speak of. So the snow guns have been working hard, and the guys and girls in the Peace team, a lot of shoveling work done across the last few weeks, and the Rieder takes some advantage from the home snow, squeezes herself into second position ahead of Claire Petit, but unable to catch Ebba Arjo of Sweden, who continues to lead at the moment. You see there how soft the snow has become with these warm temperatures. Very unseasonal weather. Much of Europe a lot warmer than we would normally expect at this time of year. So Ami Hondo now, Japan's sole standing skier in the competition today. It's the Power down on the outside ski. Just a little bit late with the line, but too direct, I would suggest, the line. But let's see what the time says. 4.06. Again, she's just knocking on the door of the podium, you would say. It's bounced quite far across to her left, though, just coming over that final breakaway. Ticks on, a couple of gates to go, and she should be safe across the line. Here we go.
Representing Japan.
2.17 seconds. Strong run, but leaves herself with a little bit of work to do come the second round of the competition later on this morning. Martin Granizzo for the Spanish team. Posted a did not finish yesterday, so again, another skier who I think might be best just to give the hill a little bit more respect today. Looks to be enjoying these slightly more forgiving, softer conditions better than yesterday's really choppy, icy, hard stuff. Nice rhythm here coming over the final breakaway. Just driving forward, transferring the weight from edge to edge, nice and rhythmically. Good finish, good strong finish in the first run here for Martin Granizzo. And yeah, she can afford a smile there. That's a better start to the day than she had yesterday. And that concludes the very limited field in the women's standing division. Only 5 competitors. Ebba Arjo leads this one at the halfway point for Sweden. Now, sit skiers next. Just a small adjustment to the timing equipment to accommodate the sit ski rigs. Lena Forster will be the first to get things underway. Home favourite skier, looking to make it 2 in a row. Victorious yesterday, and her slalom form this year has been impeccable, really. She's ready to go. Red tour leader bib, courtesy of those victories. She leads the World Cup standings here at the pretty much the midpoint of our winter season. Very difficult for the sit skiers today with the small choppy holes that have started to form. It'll be tough when we get to the men's sitting division, because there's the best part of another 40 racers to go until we see the guys later on this morning. Reader keeps it solid though. Tactical move there, sets up nicely for this slightly complex series of gates, couple of open gates, hairpin, all of those preceded by a banana gate, and then the straight run to the finish. She starts to let the rig really go and runs it straight, posts a time of 37.13 seconds. I think she's pleased with that one. I think that's safe to say. Definitely on for a repeat, I would say, of yesterday's victory. It's a good tactical approach. Just putting a little check in on the previous blue gate there to line herself up for this part where we go from 2 open gates into the hairpin. And then it's her exiting the hairpin and takes them clean across the helmet. But she had the line set up really smartly from a couple of turns, a couple of gates before. So certainly knowing the hill will help her a lot here today. Andre Pascual Seco is next for Spain. Like her, Maria Ferrero, her compatriot in the standing category, she wants to make certain of this run. Didn't have any luck yesterday, didn't manage to finish. Almost makes an error there on the hairpin, not just on the transition off the steep section. Makes the recovery though, done well here. 3.02, not so far behind our German leader. Takes 2 bites though at the double gate coming over the crest. Safely through that final hairpin though. Just a couple more in rhythm turns. Pushes for the line, 3.73. That's again a far better start to the day. A little shrug of the shoulders, but I think she should be pleased with that. Right at the top of the hill again here, Neti Kiviranta. Second place for her yesterday, one of her best ever World Cup finishes. Not the same punch and aggression as we saw in yesterday's run, and of course kind of runs away from her as a result. She had to make a big check there to get back onto the line to get around the hairpin at the bottom of the first pitch. This is there's more flow and more dynamics in these turns as we go through the middle part. Just maybe not feeling comfortable on the steeper turns, I would say. Work through the hairpin, not as direct as Annalena Forster, but effective nonetheless. Gets pushed a little wide on these lower gates, so slows down as a result. 9.01 back. Not so bad from Kiravanta. She's a little bit closer than she was after yesterday's first run, so that's moving things in the right direction. The final girl in the competition this morning. This is Mej Bido. Job coming off the pitch here, carries decent speed. Again, not as direct. She's not quite going quite as straight as Annalena Forster was, but keeping the rig working well, swinging left to right, and keeping herself in contention as a result. 4.67. Definitely in with a podium chance there. Overturns coming off that final hairpin though. It'll cost a couple more tenths. Keeps it solid, keeps it safe, going now for the line. 10.26 back, fourth for now, so just off the podium at the moment for Mej Bido of the French team. So Germany lead once again from Spain, from Finland and France. Annalena Forster looking to make it 2 in a row for the German team here in the southern edge, on the southern edges of the Black Forest. You got a view there in the background of how little natural snow there is. There's practically none at all. Hasn't snowed for ages, and almost all exclusively artificial snow on the race hill. So we're lining up here for the men's VI category. Joko Haberle and Johannes Eigner get themselves ready for an aggressive start. Focus and push out at the start. Off they go, really nice and tightly together. At the bottom of the pitch, a little bit of a problem there for Johannes. It's his recovery though. Nico trusts him to catch up. Hardly needs to look over his shoulder. They're close enough that he can more or less feel him behind. So getting on with the job here, coming towards the line. This is a quick run from the Austrians once again. 33.84 seconds, very quick indeed. Just contrast with yesterday's competition, we were looking at first run times of a couple of seconds longer, so the softer snow and different course set creating a quicker run. So we take a quick look, close-up, slow-mo look at Aigner clearing the gates there with the hand guards. Oberle and Aigner have to watch now because got another 6 athletes to come. First up, again for the German team, Alexander Long. Just listening in to the commands here. Alex. Solid timing of the turns, so they get audio cues there from Jeremiah Wilke, the guide is. Calling the rhythm. So Alex can just get on with the job of switching from foot to foot. Really strong finish here. It's going to be close. 4.5 seconds, just a shade over. 4.55.
Okay.
Yep, solid skiing there. Definitely a contender. And yeah, around the same pace in terms in comparison with Aigner as he managed yesterday.
Okay, dai
Giacomo Bertagnoli. Here's Orvelli, his guide. Andrea. Whoa. Risky stuff by Bertagnoli, coming off the pitch. Letting the weight go neutral, come onto the heels a little bit. Really lets the ski fly. But it's a risky tactic. You really have full control over the whole length of the ski. It's more on top of him now, reaching forward, making the pole plant move. Coming now for the finish line. And the risks pay off. We have a new leader. And they're delighted, quite right. Great work by the Italians. Roy Picard pushing out in front of Yasson de la Place. Richmond failed to finish yesterday, so we're going to make amends for that. Yasson more solidly over the outside ski than we saw from him yesterday. Got caught a little there just before he went into the verticale, the 3 vertical gates, but again, a problem almost at the same place as yesterday. Concentration slipping and the double gate. It's a change of rhythm. It's the only banana gate or delay gate that there is in the course. The skiers have to pass the same side, the left side of a pair of poles, and it makes for a really long sweeping curve. So out of rhythm with the preceding quick from left to right. So it's definitely one of the key points in the course, but unfortunately, Yasson fails to finish. My apologies, he managed the podium yesterday. 3rd place in the end for De La Place, but today he's now joins the spectators, unfortunately. Golas, go back to my notes, and Polish pair, they failed to finish yesterday, so certainly doesn't seem to have damaged their confidence. This is really punchy skiing. 5500s at the split. That gap grows, but it's less than a second, and just enough to sneak him into provisional 3rd for now. So Mikael Golas making amends somewhat for yesterday's failure to finish. And then next up, Mingyu Huang out of Turia, and his guide Chun Yong Kim pushes out. A couple of very punchy turns from the guide to set the rhythm on this top section. Letting the skis run, coming off the steep here as well. This is good work by the Korean pair. What's the clock give them? 1.58. just off the podium at the moment. No problem on the double gate though. Oh, just after the double though, the next rhythm changes, the hairpin, and did well to recover it. Good job by the guide as well, managed to get the brakes on quickly. Mingyu Huang, however, drops to fourth, manages to stay ahead of round of Germany.
Mingyu Huang sich noch auf die 4 gesetzt.
And final competitor for the men's VI category today will be Miroslav Haraus. And the Slovakians on course now. They too failed to finish yesterday, so need to focus here, make certain of these tricky rhythm changes down here. The course inspection, super important obviously, and doubly so on a day like today when we have these multiple combinations. So you have 3 vertical gates, there's the delay, no problem for Haraus through there, 2 more open gates, and then another hairpin. I think it's open gates all the way to the finish from here though, so he's past the trickiest bits of the course. Needs to keep the weight forward though, punches over the line safely. Haraus good enough for 6th, 4.64 the gap that he'll have to try to work on come the second run. But the results there on screen show Bertagnoli turning the tables for now on Johannes Aigner. There's going to be some battle between the Austrians and the Italians come the second run. Look, only 300s in it. Then Mikael Golas, a great run from the Poles to put Mikael in 3rd position for now. And he too, less than a second behind our leader Bertagnoli. We've just got a short break in the proceedings between the categories here. And that's allowing the course workers to do a little bit of extra preparation to the hill. See the technicians moving down the side of the course with some equipment, but we're ready to get started again. And tour leader in slalom and yesterday's victor, Arthur Baucher, pushes out of the start gate to get things underway. Young Frenchman skiing exceptionally well all through the season so far. Very solid couple of runs yesterday. He led both runs, won the race, and on this kind of form, a brave person that's going to bet against them today, I would say. Just a little bit squashed on the skis there, coming over that final change in steepness. But here he goes for the line, really aggressive over the line. 32.05. That's going to be a tough run for everyone to beat. Yeah, or slow-mo just catching him where he got a little squashed, a little pitched over the front of the skis. Really barring that one small fault. So say this is going to be a pretty tough run to beat. Baucher all smiles in the finish area. Next up, Christoph Blitzen for the host nation. W2 skier, single leg amputee, so using the outriggers there. Using them to good effect as well. It's a great shot from behind. You really can see how far across the hill the skiers have been asked to travel. Quite a turny section through the middle there. .78 the split. Big recovery there as he starts his run for the line. The recovery costs him another second or so in lost time. The Blitzner second spot for now. 3.47 the gap. It's the mistake, and pretty nice recovery, I have to say. Had to stick the ski sideways though to regain the line, and definitely some time lost there. Adam Lundström next up for the Swedes. To the course. He's at 6.82 skier, so the factoring doesn't do him any favors, so he's really racing against the clock in real time. Untidy there, just losing the left ski as he came over that very important transition. Here comes the line, though. He should be safe now. 2.17 find.
Auf der 2, ja, 2,17 Sekunden.
Definitely in touch with Baucher's time. Back with the LW2s now. Tommy Grocher, native of Kärnten. Real nice skiing through this middle part, making it look effortless. He's picking such a straight line, but so disciplined and strong with the upper body. Really solid skiing here from Grocher, and that's reflected in the time, only 1.7, so that's the second best split time so far. Let's see how he stacks up against Baucher's leading time. Third place, 2.88. Doesn't look pleased with his run, but it would be hard pushed to fault it. Maybe just skied a little bit round on the lower section. Through the field pretty quickly here. One push from yesterday's competition, so hopefully the young Swiss skier is on better form today. Roman's LW91. He's impairment due to cerebral palsy. Excuse me. And obviously on his left side, he's not quite as strong, so he has to make up for it on those left-footed turns. 1.89, that's good work from Kusch. He'll should be pleased with that. It wasn't the cleanest game, but he's not far behind Baucher. It's still competitive stuff, I would say. Burnham for France now on course. Over the split time marker, 1.92. Onto the lower section through those complex series of combination gates. Now lets it run for the finish. Fifth position, packed in pretty tightly. Third, fourth, fifth there. Just a couple of tenths between those spots. So it will be a fight for the third and fourth spots. Battle for the podium. Here's Adam Hall for New Zealand. This looks to be a repeat of yesterday's sort of performance for Adam. Super smooth skiing. Third place after the first run in yesterday's opening slalom here, but failed to capitalize on that. Dropped to fifth after his second run, so got to put two solid runs together, and he's 90% of the way in the first half of the task. Really quick turns on the closing stages of the course. 2.43. So fourth for now. Again, about the same distance behind Boucher as he was at this point yesterday. Was on next for the French team. Very, very strong, shown by the French team. It's not just Boucher who packs the talent board. Nice rhythmical stuff over the split. Oh, gets into a bit of trouble in the verticale just before the double gate, but safely through those tricky combinations. Remainder of the course fairly straightforward now, so shouldn't pose any problems. Over he goes, 3.35 from, where are we, from second to second to 8th place. You know, we're only looking at just under a couple of seconds, so Boucher clear out in the lead. He's 1.89 ahead of second place Robin Kusch. And then Aron Lundstrom just a couple of tenths behind. Now another of the LW2 skiers, Davide Bendotti. Young Italian going well here. Power on, driving the knee forward to try to manage the front of the ski. Job on the closing turns, runs straight for the line. Hard to tell where you can find speed. A little bit straighter perhaps, you know, a couple of mistakes clearly as well. Doesn't take much, particularly when we have such a short course, you know. Mistakes are paid for pretty dearly. Seen that in slow-mo, that was a pretty hefty braking move he had to make the recovery. Jules Seegers now for the French. Well, the 9.2 skier, so important for him to try to manage the energy levels across the whole duration of the course. 1.40 is pretty respectable. Around that double, went into it a little bit late, and that late line still with him down into the hairpin. Just to recover the line now, getting the turn down up above the gate for those closing half a dozen gates or so, and that's pretty solid. 5th place for now. He can make a charge for the podium from there, I would suggest. Brand new series of gates set for the second run, of course, as per usual. Majority of the para-alpine rules mirror those of the regular FIS competitions. All the dimensions of the courses, necessary vertical drop to make the races valid, and so on, just lifted straight out of the FIS rulebook. So apart from the shortness of the course here, and that's more to do with the limited snow cover, where that's the crash there, and Rochbauer, first of the DNFs. Young Austrian looks to be unscathed. Just got flipped as his skis, I think he just overturns here a little bit, hooks the tip of the ski. So technically a straddle, but ultimately leading to a crash. So unfortunately, that's his race done. And competitors who complete the course correctly are invited back for the second run of the slalom. Pretty shaky stuff here from Pellizzari, and he's out. Didn't really get to grips with the top section of the course. Can't really emphasize enough how steep it is up on the top section. We might see that shown in the slow-mo. You get an idea of it here with the camera being head on, but you know, he didn't look settled at the beginning, and that was a straddle in the middle, the close pair of poles in the hairpin, so a disqualification would have followed if he hadn't stopped. Both tips, both feet have to go the correct side of the pole, and another straddle sees off our next challenger, Kohei Takahashi, for the Japanese team. Loses a ski as he runs the gate over. Give him a moment or two to tidy things up and recover that ski. Just this next blue, he was a little bit late here and didn't quite have the control over the left ski to guide the tips around the left side of the blue pole. So as a result, the ski got hooked. The binding does its work though and releases the ski, so no real damage done other than a bit of a dent to his pride, I would guess. So 3 DNFs, but 10 of the men making it safely to the bottom in the standing division so far. And we've got another 4 to go. Next up, Johan Jean de Menage, excuse me. I'll eventually get my head around your name, Johan. Appears himself. And big launch. Tricky top section. These ruts are beginning to cause problems for the skiers. It's not quite so choppy here, and Johan definitely more balanced and over the front of the ski than he was up on the top section. Bear in mind, he's not just lost his right leg, he's lost part of his right arm as well, so left arm, excuse me, as well. So skiing with 2 sets of prosthetic limbs, one with a little attachment on the arm to let him use the outrigger, and short prostheses to protect his right leg. 6.15, not so bad. 11th place, considering the troubles he had up on the top section and those recoveries he had to make. Still, relatively speaking, in contention with the rest of the field. It's 11 safely down so far, 3 to go. They're turning out to be very difficult conditions. We had much harder snow yesterday. Everybody said that they were tough courses, but today the softer snow causing all sorts of problems for the guys and girls. And I'm kind of holding my breath thinking about how the men's sit skiers are going to get on down here, because the top part of the course is chopping up really badly. I've got Roger Puigdavy of the Andorran team on course. Done a good job on that top part. It's the split 3.35 back. A straight line through the verticale here. Over the final breakaway. Can see the line from here. So drives straight, goes forward with the arm to break the beam, 5.75 back. Total time there, 37.80 seconds. Edges him just ahead of Jean Demange of France. In the 11th spot, respectively, for those lads. And on course, but not for long, with Arvin Skoglund. Big crash for him up at the top. Really badly tangled up, but looks to be unscathed. Let's have a look back at what happened. Just dropping into that hole very heavily in the middle part. It's the exit turn, the left foot turn, that brings you out of the first verticale. The gate set vertically or in a straight line down the fall line. So the rhythm changes from smooth round turns to short choppy turns just right about here. And there you go. It's the hairpin and like another vertical combination. And those, the exits from those combinations, the vertical combinations, tend to get chopped up when the snow's soft like this. So something that, as I say, particularly the sit skiers have to be aware of, and line management will be crucial for them. Yes, over the line in a region, posting 12th fastest time there. And yeah, the 4 DNFs, that concludes this part of the competition. And no surprises, Boucher with a belter of a run, I have to say. Really, really quick skiing from Boucher. Robin Cush, his nearest competitor, I think trails by 1.89, and then it's only a couple more tenths to the third position, and that's held currently by Aron Lundstrom. 34.22 his total time, and the gap to first sits there at 2.53. Then, as we saw, the remaining 10 skiers or so, they're all packed in with just a few seconds between them, between the lot of them. So it's going to be quite some shootout come the second run. Quick look at the start list here for the men's sit skiers. And we'll be underway pretty quickly with them.
Ok, parte. Dai Renone, dai convinto, dai!
And De Silvestro, last words from his coach as he gets ready to launch. This is going to be some fight against the hill for the guys in the sit skis. See straight away the rig's getting pitched into the air. De Silvestro doing a great job of staying on top of things here, and takes a lot of speed off the bottom section of the pitch. It's such a long way, all the way to the split and beyond. The course is so steep. It's only really here at the double gate that it flattens off, and then it's only for a little while and then back onto another steep section. Great job by De Silvestro, I have to say. Just manages to hang on to control, and that's a quick run, 33.07. That's a really strong run. Probably didn't feel very pretty in there, but I would estimate that that's going to be very competitive for De Silvestro. Next up will be Takeshi Suzuki for Japan, so we'll get a better gauge from the experienced Japanese skier to see how he rides things out. Yeah. Well, Rennie, you can afford a smile after a run like that. Here's Suzuki. To work straight away. Driving the rig round. From edge to edge as quickly as he can between the gates. And keeps a high line coming off the steep section. See how he matches up to De Silvestro just here at the split, 1.57. Yeah, giving it a bit more respect than we saw from René De Silvestro, I would say. Solidly over the line, 3.09 back though. That's a bit of work left to do for Suzuki come the second run. Finished yesterday's slalom. Steep section there. Showing that this hill needs a bit of respect, but no respect shown by Jeroen Kramscher. Really gunning at this. Hammering through these ruts. 2.5 ahead of De Silvestro. Keeps the work rate up. Almost in sight of the line. Here he goes. And we have a new leader. It's close though. Only 900s in it. Yeah, that's quite some fight. Top to bottom. Watch, he's fearlessly out of the start gate, though. Just got stuck into the ruts right from the get-go. Shot there of just how effectively he's managing to get the suspension working on that rig. Soft enough so that it soaks up the majority of the shock from the rut at the bottom of the turn. And then quickly over, transitioning across onto the left edge there. Great pictures from our local camera crew. And yeah, he looks pleased with that one. That was definitely a competitive run. De Silvestro trailing Campshire by 900s at the moment. Lubras Dagand for the French team now. Good high line coming off the pitch. Here comes the split. 1.76. Not taking the same risks as De Silvestro or Campshire, but keeping himself solidly in the course. It's more than half the battle. Now for the line. Razdagans, good enough for third, just sneaks ahead of Suzuki of Japan with 500ths between third and fourth. Not many people looking pleased with their runs, but it's a real battle for survival for the sit skiers, that's for sure. Victor Pierrel next up for France. Keeps the safe line, I would say, making certain of each and every one of these turns, not carrying the same speed as the majority of the other guys, but now starting to let the rig find a straighter line, nice and smoothly through the double and into the final combination here. But oh, that was a cracking recovery. Didn't really lose too much momentum, but just moving towards the inside of the turn a little bit too much. Tail of the ski broke away, but he held on to it well. So Pierrel goes fifth. He's delighted with that. He'll be even more pleased, I think, when he sees the slow-mo of his very tasty recovery. This is the gate here. Just drops inside a little bit too far. The tail of the ski washes out. But yeah, that was quick reflexes and a good move to regain his balance and keep some kind of momentum to get him into the next turn. And right now that puts him in fifth place, 7.48 back, but with a cleaned up run he can maybe improve his ranking by at least a couple of places, I would think, come the second run. Australia on course now. Josh Hanlon. Top section. Oh, just as I give him the curse of the commentator, drops the rig on its side on that right foot turn just after the hairpin at the bottom of the pitch. Chooses to continue. I think he did pass all of the gates correctly, but going to be no repeat, unfortunately, for Joss of yesterday's very strong showing. He was on track there just until that big mistake, but yesterday managed to place third in his best ever results. Just to show his style and technique once again down the bottom, but that costly error to the bottom of the main pitch, the early pitch. So spoiling his chances. Just here, ran it in a bit too straight. He was twisting his shoulders, trying to get the ski to change direction. Just here on the big offset turn, there's a lot of distance from left to right demanded from the skiers. Big direction change there. Jesper Pedersen kind of in his performance curve yesterday, saw him placing 4th, so looking to make amends for that today. Much more aggressive and confident looking than I think he was yesterday. Bouncing him around a little though. Right, maintaining a clean snow contact with the ski as he would like, and trails his arch rival, I think is a fair comment when we're talking about GER Kampschre. Pedersen and he really battling it out across all the disciplines. And here in the slalom, Pedersen for Norway goes 3rd. Gets him solidly into the 2nd run and gives him an opportunity to try to pressure Kampschre in the final leg of the competition later on this afternoon. Try to force the young Dutch skier to make some kind of error. I'm more pleased with his performance, I think, than he was yesterday. I think that's fair to say. So next up, Pedersen's teammate. Magnus powering on in these top turns. Got to keep the rig a little more under control. Nice recovery there, and he's got such an early line coming off the steep. Should keep him out of trouble. That way he's able to ride through the holes rather than drop into them. But the rounder line is a longer line, obviously, so costing a little bit of time there. Well, for different tactics can be different tactical approaches, particularly for the sit skiers, but ultimately risks have to be taken. Not so bad though, 36.78. Posting a young Norwegian in 6th. He looks to be pleased with that. The Netherlands team here. Inspect Schneider. Doing a good job up on these tough ruts in the top section. So mirroring the style of Kampschre, actually his teammate, but doing almost as effective a job. Around the double comes the next verticale, or it's a hairpin rather, not just the 2 gates there. Oh, there's just when he was past the worst of the tricky turns. Yeah, no wonder he's frustrated. That was a mistake just when he was getting into the easier part of the course rather. It's a little bit late coming out of the hairpin, late in the following gate, and then the ski just got away from him. Christoph Damas for Switzerland now on course. Really in trouble, dropping so hard into those holes. Does well to survive that part. Just get over this roll, and this next hairpin is the next tricky part, and it goes. This big swing out for the blue gate on the exit, and from here, as long as he can recover the line well, he should be safe. Yeah, he's done a good job there. He was running a little bit late, but then managed to get the line back under his control. Yeah, big smile from him. Good run there by Pascal Christen. Excuse me, that was Christoph Damas. And of course, this is Pascal Christen now. Incoming Swiss skiers in the sit ski division. Ooh, gets in trouble though. Caught out by the combination. Not sure that he nailed every one of those gates. We'll have to have a look at that in the slow-mo, but keeps it going, keeps the rhythm safe and solid here. Over the line, 7.65 back, 9th position for the moment. Straight back to the top. No slow-mo, we're back with the German team here. Leon Gensert, this should be, yep. Full gas. Sound advice, really. You can't adopt a conservative approach here. The course will send you out towards the fence pretty quickly. You've got to be aggressive, got to be fully committed, and as the coach said there, keep your feet on the gas. Full commitment here by Gensert, 5.46. Not the split. Oh, mistake there, but manages to get the recovery just before the double. So more space for him to get back onto the line and into the course. Still struggling here a bit to keep the connection with the snow. Should make it to the line from here though. Over he goes, 11.72 back. That's 11th spot for him at the back of the pack. And so far, Sit skiers have done a great job of surviving this course. I really was expecting there to be a few more wipeouts, but Skenser's just shown us here, giving the hill a bit of respect, maintaining control over the ski, can keep you in the race, that's for sure.
Croatia.
Zukolovic looking very focused here. The Croatian skier pushes out and gets into the groove. Driving the ski through those ruts. So far, so good. And the rhythm of the course really well. Nice smooth skiing from Dino. And yeah, it's keeping him in touch with the leaders. 7th position at the split. We're almost a full second to separate the podium, so around 2 seconds back is very healthy. 2-3 seconds. Dino goes for the line. It's 4.07, 7th spot for the moment. Yeah, a little tug of the shoulders there. So he was looking for a slightly quicker time. Now we're on course with Shintaro Tsukahara, who is our final competitor in this men's sit ski competition. This is the last of the 3 categories, so final competitor in this morning's first run on course. He's got steady approach here. Japanese coach has set the course, so shouldn't be any surprises in the way the patterns of gates are stacked up. Taro doing a solid job here. He's into the slightly more open, easier turns now, so he heads for the line, so he too should be safely home. There he goes, 7.43 back, just squeezing into the top 10 in 9th position. Our final competitor safely to the bottom of the hill. Only 1 DNF amongst the men's sit skiers this morning, so good survival rate. And fastest man, of course, Jeroen Kampschreur. Then the Dutchman is followed by Italy's René de Silvestro and the Norwegian Pedersen, the tour leader. He sits in position number 3. So see, it's just under a second, 0.98 of a second separating the top three. There's the confirmations there. So a lot to play for these guys come the second run. That's going to be quite the fight amongst the podium, for the podium spots amongst those top three guys. 1 DNF, so 13 down in all. So that's a good survival rate, as I say, particularly under these very, very difficult conditions. Soft snow breaking up and the ruts causing problems for everybody, really. But new pattern of gates will be set pretty quickly. And we'll be back shortly, in a couple of hours from now, with our second run. So make sure you stay with us here on FIS TV, and make sure your mobile device is loaded with our FIS app, where you can follow the whole family of FIS sports. And there's confirmation of the start time, local time, 12:45 Central European time. So just a little under a couple of hours to have a break, reset the course, and we'll be back to bring you continued live coverage then.